Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live, soon to be podcast. And hope you're having a great day. We're going to entitle this one Unintended Consequences. Unintended Consequences, okay? So let me say good morning a little bit. Bruno, first time I've seen that name. Michael, Nick, Diane, Diana, Sherry, Suzanne, John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois, Nativity, Edith, Amanda, Laura, Jerry from Nouveau Brunswick, Sari, and Jeanette, bonjour, and Crystal, and Vera, Kenneth, Carol, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right again. Terry, how are you? Slavata. Hold on. Let me say that name again. Diane and Monique and Yolande. Bonjour. Hold on. Svetlana. Slavana. How's that? Let me know, Slavana, if I'm murdering that, okay? Somehow chat there afterwards and tell me I want to get your name. Unintended consequences. Story out in the publication Psychology Today. Low brain cholesterol. Unintended consequences. Now listen, I am 100% sure that cardiologists have good intentions. Oh, for sure, 100%. I mean, they're doctors. They have good intentions. Now, years ago, they discovered a medication. You know all about it. They're called statin drugs. And they became the number one selling drug, Lipitor in particular, but there's Crestor and Zocor. And statins became the number one selling drug in all history of medicine. Statins. Number one selling drug of all time is Lipitor. It's still number one. The problem is the unintended consequences. Now, first of all, why did cardiologists and almost every doctor in the universe prescribe statins? You know the history, but I will refresh your brain. Because to the vast majority of physicians, never mind cardiologists, but almost all physicians in the traditional allopathic medicine believe cholesterol is the boogeyman. Cholesterol is no good for you. In particular, LDL, low density lipoprotein. What's that mean? Well, LDL, they found a medication to lower LDL. Now let me bring you back. I've got to bring you back a little bit more, repeat history. I call him a serial killer. It's not nice, but I insist on it. A fellow by the name of Ancel Keys, one guy, in the 1950s, did some research, and he said, what is at the root of heart disease is cholesterol. And the hypothesis that he had became fodder for the food industry, the cereal companies especially. If cholesterol is the bad guy and it's at the root of heart disease, then we must reduce cholesterol. Thus, the cereal companies, the food industry in general, but cereal companies said, well, we need to change people's minds. Now, this is so well established. It's so much into our thinking that cholesterol is bad that 99% of the population, if you were to do a survey, go into your hometown, take 100 homes, 99% will tell you that what causes heart disease is cholesterol. I mean, Ansel Keys, and the reason I call him a serial killer is I don't think he meant to do it, but by teaming up with the food industry, which he did, and teaming up with the pharmaceutical industry, which he did. Now listen, I got educated in the 70s. Cholesterol, it was starting in education. That cholesterol was a bad guy, but there was no statin drugs. So my education basically was biochemistry, and biochemistry said, well, you can't live without cholesterol. But there was some teaching coming in that waxy substance, cholesterol, you know what? There's doctors now saying that it's at the root of heart disease. And I'll tell you something. In the late 70s and the early 80s, the medical profession went hook, line, and sinker on cholesterol being bad. They discovered the pharmaceutical industry was racing to lower cholesterol. They succeeded in bringing out medication, statin drugs, that will lower cholesterol. Now, again, I am not questioning people's motives. Look, the pharmaceutical company, I don't question their motives. First of all, they have a team. Every pharmaceutical company has teams of scientists. But at the end of the day, they better find medications. They'll never talk to you about food. They'll never talk to you about natural products. They need to patent things. Otherwise, they don't make money. As simple as that. And they're in it to make money, obviously. But what happened, and this was unprecedented, in the medical realm, is that the pharmaceutical companies were now 100% influencing the teaching at medical schools. They were doing all the research, they were doing all the studies, and they were telling the medical students, cholesterol is bad. And so you can imagine, they had to undo hundreds of years of biochemistry. And I'm telling you, they made it up. Ansel Keys. And it permeated now the medical schools. So like I said, allopathic medicine, almost 100% of them believe cholesterol is the boogeyman. They're doing you a favor by lowering your cholesterol. They believe it. They think they're right. The unintended consequences, and now I'm getting to the root of the story today. The unintended consequences in psychology today is what lowering your cholesterol does to your brain. Now, you know me. If someone calls you fathead, you take it as a compliment. You don't want to lower cholesterol in your brain. The problem with statin drugs is they go across the blood-brain barrier. And they lower your cholesterol in your brain. And I'm telling you, if I talk to 99 out of 100 doctors this morning, and I told them that statin drugs go across the blood-brain barrier and lower your cholesterol in your brain, they say, well, that's probably a good thing because it's going to help you from having a stroke. Not thinking, forgetting biochemistry. Seriously, guys. It's an unintended consequence. They didn't do it on purpose, guys. Now, what is the problem with lowering your cholesterol in your brain? Cholesterol your body needs. How many times have I said it? Every cell in your body needs cholesterol because it's made up of cholesterol. Your cell wall is cholesterol. You need cholesterol. Now, did you read our email this morning on the importance of vitamin D? Without cholesterol, you do not absorb vitamin D properly. And what are they finding about vitamin D? Well, I'll tell you, it's every day, it seems, they're putting out a new study on vitamin D. From your brain to your toes, you are a human solar panel. The more they study it, the more they realize that if you have low levels of vitamin D, you are unhealthy. Case closed. From COVID to cancer to heart disease to diabetes to Alzheimer's to autoimmune, it don't matter if you have low levels of vitamin D, you are unwell. And you do not absorb vitamin D without cholesterol. The unintended consequences. Now your brain needs, your brain is what, 2% of your body weight? I'm going to show you a little fat thing. This is about, seriously, a little bit bigger than this, but not much. I used to have a nice little small brain. Not up here, but I actually had. Okay, like your brain's a little bit bigger than that, but not much. It's 2% of your body weight on average. But what your brain needs is cholesterol. It'll take 20% of your cholesterol. Why? Because your cholesterol your brain doesn't work without it. It's protective. It protects your little, your myelin sheet that is around your brain and your synapses and remember your brain inside of this, and this is not a brain, but it's fat. Looks like this. Inside your brain are neurotransmitters. Billions of them. You need cholesterol for your brain to work properly. Listen, if you don't believe me on this, let me just give you, go to your pharmacist, or when you get a statin drug, read the possible side effects. One of them that's written there is cognitive, brain, memory issues, because it lowers your cholesterol in your brain. And memory. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, like I always get a kick out of the, I get a kick out of the commercials about cholesterol. Like, I just got my cholesterol numbers back, and they give each other high fives, and I remember one that made me laugh like crazy was one where a fireman was coming down the pole at the fire station, and he pretty near fell off because he was so excited that his cholesterol numbers were going down. My doctor said, I got low cholesterol, and giving everybody in the fire station high fives. And I'm thinking, okay, dough brain. Why do you want to lower your cholesterol? I'm trying to elevate your cholesterol. Your brain needs it. People with the lowest levels of cholesterol die young. And you know me, I always talk about don't outlive your brain. They always want to get that LDL down. They want to get your total cholesterol down. Ooh. I'm going to have to go for another walk to get my blood pressure down. Folks, listen to me. Please, please. You don't have a cholesterol problem. You have a sugar problem. It's not cholesterol. It's insulin. You want to damage your brain? You need cholesterol. And by the way, your body only makes 15% of your cholesterol. Where does 85% come from? Your body makes it. You have to eat the other 15%. It's up to you to eat 15%. Your body, I've always used this expression, God don't trust you. You look down the ages of time. You're a carnivore. The new enlightenment, the new world order, the new normal. Let's get your cholesterol down, and I don't eat animal products. I can't get over it. I shouldn't be surprised, but I can't get over it. It's almost like, are you not thinking? If you don't make enough cholesterol, your body don't trust you. 85% is made within your body. 15%, God expects you to eat it. And you can't get cholesterol, let me refresh your brain, in the plant kingdom. It's not there. It's exclusive to eggs, meat, cheese, fish. It's in dairy. It's in animals, in butter, not margarine. You got margarine at home? You know what kicking a field goal is? Kick it out of your house. Why are you aiming for low cholesterol? You want to have a healthy brain? Get your HDL up. High density lipoprotein. What is that? It's the FedEx trucks. Okay, Amazon trucks or whatever you want to use on the highways. You know what they are? You know what still, like, do you know, for my American friends, the border between Canada and the United States is closed to who only people that can travel by car or by truck or by transport are essential workers. HDL is an essential worker. It needs to be high to transport hormones to get rid of your triglycerides. One, HDL is a transporter of hormone. Ladies, why would you want to lower your HDL? Why would you want to lower your cholesterol? Why? Your brain needs it. Your skin needs it. Your eyeballs need it. Your heart needs it. Ladies, I'm speaking to you, but men, because we're dense. But ladies, you want to stay young? You need cholesterol. Why? Because it transports your estrogen and your progesterone. Think of those trucks. They're essential workers. They can cross. They get across the blood-brain barrier too. To go into the brain and get rid of your triglycerides. That's what gives you a stroke. Triglycerides, 3 fat balls made from sugar. So it's not cholesterol, it's sugar. I can't emphasize it enough. You need cholesterol. Now, if I'm around, in 10 years from now, I will continue to preach it. I don't care how unpopular it is or it becomes. I don't apologize. Oh, Dr. Martin, red meat, cancer, and I hear it every day. Don't eat too much red meat. Why? There's a whole generation coming of vegetarianism. Worse, veganism. Whole generation coming because of propaganda. It's a gift to the pharmaceutical industries. It permeates teaching in schools. And as my son, when his daughter was in, both of his kids now are out of, well, one is in college, but he used to tell me, he said, Dad, high school now is indoctrination. They hardly teach anymore. It's just indoctrination. The climate, sexuality, you name it. Animals higher on the food chain than human beings. And I don't care, guys. I don't care. I mean it. I don't care if I get lambasted. I'm not going to stop preaching it. I don't apologize. Look, I'm not a researcher, per se. Researchers work in labs. I worked with real people for 46 years. Real people. And I tell people, I still do online. You're not eating enough cholesterol. You better get cracking. Well, Doc, how many eggs can I eat in a week? 100. You want your brain to be good? You better put cholesterol in that brain. The unintended consequences. How much meat should I eat? How much do you like? Seriously. Now again, I know it goes against the grain. It goes against the grain. And I could spend some time here this morning talking to you about what another thing that statin drugs do when they cross the blood, well, they do it all the time, but when they cross the blood-brain barrier, another thing that your brain needs is CoQ10. You'll even see that on the commercials on TV, CoQ10. They advertise it. Why is CoQ10 so popular today? Because of statin drugs. Well established. When you take a statin drug, you're lowering your CoQ10. And your muscles are often damaged by low levels of CoQ10. What's your heart? It's a muscle. Unintended consequences. Sorry for getting so excited. Heart disease has been misdiagnosed. Heart disease has been misdiagnosed. I was listening to a guy the other day, I think it was on Sunday. He got a presidential pardon. He's been let out of prison. I think he was there over 20 years. And they found out that they put the wrong guy in jail. He got a full pardon. The wrong guy in jail is cholesterol. Cholesterol's not the bad guy. Been put in jail. Really started in the 1950s. I'm telling you, the wrong guy went to jail. The bad guy is sugar. And I'll just finish with this. What Ansel Keys never put into the equation in the 1950s when he saw cholesterol at the crime scene. Of course you're going to have cholesterol at the crime scene. You got Amazon trucks, you got FedEx trucks, you got essential worker trucks. They're all over the highways. Of course you're going to have cholesterol. But when he saw cholesterol at the crime scene, he assumed that was the bad guy. Of course you're going to have cholesterol in your blood vessels. But what he didn't realize in the 1950s, he didn't know it. What causes plaque wasn't cholesterol. What causes? It was, in the 50s, it was smoking. President Eisenhower smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day. So did my dad, by the way. And they didn't understand that in those days, that how bad smoking was for you. It still is. But then the food industry, when they got you off cholesterol, had to replace the fat. And they replaced it with sugar. And we went from 25 pounds of sugar a year in the 1950s to somewhere close to 200 total pounds a year today. Destructive to your blood vessels, like nobody's business. Creating triglycerides that gum up your blood vessels and damage your blood vessels. They take away from the Teflon of your blood vessels. And then you start developing plaque. It's not cholesterol. Cholesterol, of course, is going to be at the crime scene. Always will be. But it's not the bad guy. Okay. I finished my rant. Okay, you guys are great for listening. I mean it. Appreciate all the faithful watchers. And, like I said, I'm not making this stuff up. It's the psychology today. Seen so much brain issues because of low cholesterol. You better do your part and eat it. You got 15% to make up. I eat enough cholesterol, I could give you some of mine to help you. Okay. Once again, thanks for watching. Share this. It'll give them another sense of teaching. They only get it one way. And look, self-care is healthcare. Take care of yourself first. Okay. Love you guys. Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow.